You know, my brother, time will tell. Time will always, always tell. Whether you were right, whether you were wrong, whether you were taking the right path or the wrong path, or whether time truly exists. But one thing is for certain. Time is the best teacher that there is.
Very much so. And one of the main things that people sleep on, to me, is time. Because we're in it, we're not necessarily paying attention to it as much as we should. And before you know it, you look up and you're 30. Before you know it, you look up and you're 60. Before you know it, you look up and you have a family with kids and the white picket fence and all that type of shit. And it feels like just yesterday you were, complaining about paying your first bill or having your first kid or just some shit like that, right? Time is something that we're in, but we don't necessarily pay attention to. However, the more that you pay attention to it and the more that you understand that in some aspects it is on your side, you can benefit a lot from it. And this is something that I'll say for those who may not feel like they're smart enough, good enough, or, challenged when it comes to math, challenged when it comes to reading, challenged when it comes to any type of skill that you're trying to acquire. Really, you don't necessarily have to be the LeBron James of whatever it is that you're doing. He has chosen one written on his back because almost essentially he's like, if God picked someone to be great at basketball, Michael Jordan and LeBron James, like they were destined for that almost at birth, it seems like, right? Of course, he put in a lot of work, but the talent that was there from the start was always evident. However, I feel like for most people, including myself, that's not always the case. The talent for whatever skill that you're trying to acquire may not be there, but what you can do that they could do, but because they have the talent, they probably won't do, is you can put in the time, right? And people often underestimate how much putting in the time can garner you. You can have all the talent in the world. However, if you don't hone that talent by putting in the amount of hours necessary to do so, the talent is only going to take you so far. And I forget the saying, but it's like talent...
Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work
there
hard.
You go.
Okay.
So
I thought it was a different one that I wouldn't know either. I was like, oh, shit.
There you go. And then also, practice prevents poor performance. There you go. Yeah, there you go. So, when you're thinking about, oh, I'm not good at this or I'm not good at that, all of us started somewhere. And who I think about who started from scratch and wasn't necessarily always the most talented at whatever he was doing. I believe it was Warren Buffett, if I'm not mistaken. So, let's see. Yes. So, one of the main reasons for his success isn't the fact that he's a fucking genius. Of course, he's very smart and, his intellect is higher than most, but he wasn't always just some genius when it came to stocks. It took a lot of time and effort. And how old is he at this point?
I think he's in his 70s.
I think he's older than that.
Maybe his early 80s.
Yeah, I think he's older.
He's in good shape for his age.
Yes, correct. Let's see here. While we look at
78, that's my guess.
He's 94, bro.
What the fuck?
Right.
Wow.
And he's in good. He does look good for a 94-year-old. He doesn't look like he's 94. He looks like he is like more so 70, 80.
Well, money buys health.
That is true. And he's 94. And he's one of the richest people on the planet. But it's not solely because he's smart. It's because he had more fucking time than you to invest into perfecting his craft. So if you're thinking about something that you're trying to get into or you want to get better at, know that there's the people who have talent, then there's the people who have the determination and willpower to just work and see things through. And sometimes that's really all you need in order to make money and get good at some shit that you originally weren't good in. And for us, I feel like, of course, we had some type of intellect and all that type of stuff, but in high school, we weren't just like the leader of, you know, our class or anything like that. But after we graduated, we got a chip on our shoulder and we put in more time and more effort into shit than the people prior. And then those people who had that talent weren't the people who got the publications. They weren't the people who got the 4.0. They weren't the people who went on to build a business at 26, a successful business at 26. So the talent was there for them, but we had the willpower and determination to put in the time, years and years and years worth of it, to the point to where now we have the expertise that makes us just as dangerous, if not more dangerous than those people. So don't sleep on yourself. Maybe the talent is not there for you. It happens. Happened for me. However, you have time. God willing, you have time to put forth into whatever it is that you want to get better in. Take that time, and that can get you just as far. It's like, I got nothing.
So how does it feel, y'all? Yeah, talking shit back in the day, huh? And now,
Shit. I'm sorry. I didn't know you were going that direction. Hey,
no. You just went on this little. I spaced out for a little bit. I was thinking about my tiny chick, and then I popped back in at the right time where you were talking about the fact that 26-year-olds with successful business, and we put in the time, and I just thought, that's a crazy sentence right there. Time will tell, and time will teach. Not only have we been able to do those things because of what we've done and the time that we've sacrificed and how we've efficiently used our time, because that's a big factor as well. A lot of what we have gained is what you don't see. The things that we've learned, the things that we have, the people we have met, the competencies that we've gained, the skills that we've trained. These are things that you only obtain with time, under duress or not under duress, but simply by being around certain people and spending the time to get to know them. There's so much time that needs to be invested, and if you get a good return on your investment, it's entirely dependent on what you're doing, who you're with, and how long you're doing it. So behind the curtains of any successful business that's withstanding of time is knowledge, which is obtained with time. Because you have businesses, and we just spoke about one the other day. I use the word business lightly in this case, where they quickly got shut down as fast as they came up to be. And therefore, you didn't have a lot of time to learn about what was actually happening behind the curtains because you grew so fast, so then you fall as quickly as you grew. That's the same thing with lottery winners. I think, 70% of
I think it's more than that.
It's probably 83, 86%. Let's say 86% of lottery winners go broke within a year. And they're actually usually in worse off conditions than they were than when they won the lottery. Mm-hmm. The reason being is they didn't truly earn that wealth. So they don't know how to use it, and they don't know what it means, and it quickly gets blown to smithereens. And therefore, a lot of times, one of the biggest curses you can get is success rapidly, or progress rapidly, or recognition rapidly, because it's not going to be worth its salt, its weight in salt. And therefore, it's going to crumble. So even if you fail, you're learning in the process. If you're smart enough, you're learning in the process. So you're failing, but you're learning. You're failing and you're learning, and you're failing and you're learning, and all whilst you're working. And eventually you'll have a breakthrough. That's the key. But the success is not in the breakthrough. The success is in what you learn. The success is that you're turning time into a currency of knowledge that cannot be taken away from you. Because at the end of the day, your freedom can be taken away, your money can be taken away, your capacity to stand, your capacity to talk can be taken away, but what can't be taken away is your mind. And if it is, you're pretty much no longer existent on this earth. So that being said, train your mind, trade the time for the knowledge, invest it, and you'll be unstoppable in all domains.
And that's something I feel like Warren Buffett, I believe, speaks to pretty often is, though he's older, maybe he can't get around as well as he used to, he still trains his mind on a daily to be able to still be, sharp for his age, So I want to mention this here. Currently, Warren Buffett is worth $84.5 billion, right?
$84.5 billion.
Correct. And here's a little bit out of this book. I believe it's The Psychology of Money, if I'm not mistaken. Jim Simmons, or Simons, whichever one, however you want to say that, head of the hedge fund Renaissance Technologies, has compounded money at 66% annually since 1988. No one comes close to this record. As we just saw, Buffett has compounded at roughly 22% annually, a third as much. Simon's net worth, as I write, is $27 billion. He is, and I know how ridiculous this sounds given the numbers we're dealing with here, 75% less rich than Warren Buffett. Why the difference if Simmons is such a better investor? Because Simmons did not find his investment stride until he was 50 years old. He's had less than half as many years to compound as Buffett. If James Simons, or Simmons, or whatever the fuck, had earned 66% annual returns for the 70-year span Buffett has built his wealth, he would be worth, and please hold your breath, 63 quintillion, 900 quadrillion, 781 trillion, 780 billion, $748,160,000.
Numbers.
So I say that to say, do you hear how ridiculous that number fucking sounds? It's fucking unimaginable, right? Quintillion, quadrillion, all that shit. That's how much he'd have if he had done what he's doing for a longer amount of time. That's why a lot of older people, if you're starting something or trying something new, they often tell you, it's like, man, you guys are starting so early. I wish I would have started that early. This is why they say that. Because normally the older you get, the more you start to understand and value time. When you're young, you don't give a fuck about time. All you care about is fucking going out, fucking whatever you like to fuck, and, and try to have fun. You know what I'm saying? So when you get older, you realize life is more important than that, and there's more value in certain things than what you put value into today. And the main thing is time. Time is something that you cannot take for granted. And the less you take it for granted, the more that you'll be able to utilize it to your benefit. And that's something that we're more cognizant of today, which allows us to be able to make more use of our time, which allows us to bypass certain things quicker than most people, which allows us to get the things that we want quicker than most people as well. Same thing goes back to Mr. Simons or Simmons or whatever you want to say. He, though he spent a lot of time, didn't spend as much time as Warren Buffett doing the thing. The talent is there. Technically, he's more talented than Warren Buffett. But again, technically, he's 75% less rich than Warren Buffett.
That's crazy.
So talent can do you a lot, but time does more justice than talent alone. And again, we always equate things to working out. What is one of the main things that you've taught me, time related, in workouts that allows you to get the best workout and build muscle the right way?
Time under tension.
There you go. So it's not necessarily about what specific workout you're doing, how you're doing the fucking workout, all that type of shit. One of the main things that helps you grow muscle mass, keep it, and allows you to do certain things in a nice, sustainable way is having good time under tension. A lot of people feel like, okay, I'm pumping this iron fucking fast, I'm moving the weight fast, I'm doing more than this person over here who's doing fucking 10 reps, I'm doing fucking 20 reps, and I'm doing them fast, I must be stronger than that guy, right? It might look that way, but pay close attention to this guy over here, right? He does 10 reps, slow, controlled, probably the same weight, if maybe a little less than you, but He does them well, he does them controlled, he does it slow, right? Over and over and over again. What that does in the long term, not only does it allow him to maintain his health and muscular structure, because you'll probably get hurt doing all that fucking quick shit, it also allows his muscles to be stronger and be able to resist or, deal with more than you, because you're doing all this fucking quick shit. Same thing applies with life. Sometimes the slower, the better. Why? Because it builds your ability to deal with the bullshit that life throws you. It helps your body grow, it helps your mind grow, and it helps it grow in a sustainable fashion to where when these things happen to you, it's not going to, rock you off your pivot. It's not going to make you freak out. It's not going to make you panic, because you've been doing this. You've been doing this for a long period of time, and you took the time and effort to do it the right way. If you're rushing, you're trying to make shit happen fast, it might look good for a second. You might get the attention from the hoe in the gym for a little while, but then when you fucking pull something and the weight fucking falls on you and you fucking ruin your weightlifting career because you were trying to look fucking cool, and your 20 seconds of fame literally lasted 20 seconds of fame. You know who gets the fucking gold? Not you. The guy who was doing the slow reps. The guy who had the time under tension. The guy who put in the months, years, decades of work the right way, the slow way, the repetitive way. He's the one who wins. Time, people. Time is so important. Don't waste it. Don't misuse it. And if you do that, you'll be the one who wins the gold, not that guy over there doing all this fucking shit in the fucking weight room thinking he's doing some shit.
Less is more.
Ooh.
In most scenarios, less is more. Do less bullshit and do the right shit.
Right.
And do it in the right amount of time, across time, and you'll win. It's such a simple equation. You simplify, you focus, and you extend, and you're done. Okay? Can you do everything? No. But you can do a few things, and you can do them very well, and you can do them consistently. That's the name of the game. Just consistency. If you never made money before and you make it all at once, how are you going to do it again? This is the reason why you don't achieve goals by setting goals. You achieve goals continuously by setting systems. A system is the way that you win systematically on repeat. That's the whole point of a system. So if you don't have something in place that repeats itself and improves itself and refines your processes over time, whether it's in your relationships, whether it's in your life, whether it's in your business, whether it's in the gym, whatever it might be, then you're not getting anywhere over an extended period of time. You're simply continuing the same mundane bullshit. That's okay if that's what you want in your life. However, if you want something better, you have to understand that you need to improve what you are doing with your time. Your time is your investment. Time is money, and money is time. That's one of the things that's difficult to understand early on, because you're trading your time for money. And then you realize that with that money, you can buy back your time. Imagine not having to do any chores because you can pay somebody else to do it. Now you have the time back to get more money. Depending on how you like to live your life, that's a phenomenal equation that you get to use. You don't have to clean your place. You don't have to cook. You don't have to wash your dishes. You can, i.e., make more money or spend that time living your life. You can be out and about on a beautiful day like today on a hike with a lovely brunette and a fat ass. You could be doing 3 of them at the same time right now. There's a lot of things that you could be doing. You can spend time with your parents. You could
from that to this.
You could also, family, you know what I'm saying? You could also be at Whole Foods drinking a smoothie or a green juice, whatever you want. Or you could be working as a clerk in a gas station for the rest of your life. Still an honorable occupation. We still need clerks. Don't get me wrong. However, if you want to do something more than where you currently are, you need to understand the value of time. And you also need to learn how to be patient, because you don't set out and say, I'm going to be successful, and it happens overnight. It's the work that happens overnight that will make you successful. That's all I have to say.
And lastly, I know some people might be like, who the fuck are these guys, and why do they feel like they're credible enough to speak about any of that shit, right?
I don't think they're smart enough to say that.
And probably at this point of the video, they probably already clicked out of it and say, yeah, fuck these guys. What makes them smart enough to be able to say that, blah, blah, blah.
Hey, who knows? Our haters watch us more than our lovers do.
That is true. Lovers is crazy. But that is true. And I'll say to that, the reason why we're able to speak about certain things and know when not to speak about certain things is not because we're just so smart. It's because we've been doing this for a long period of time. Time gives you credibility. And I'll end it at that before the camera goes out. The AM Club Podcast.
Signing out.
Mic check. The AM Club Podcast.